Hello friends, welcome back to the another video lecture of software engineering subject. In today's video lecture we are going to discuss about SDLC, means software development life cycle, and different software process model. Okay, so let's start with the SDLC. So full form of SDLC is a software development life cycle that will consist total 5 phases. First phase will be the communication. In that phase, project initialization will be there, requirement gathering will be there. So communication with the customer and the company person, or we can say a BD. So customer will explain its need for software to the company person. That phase will be known as the communication. In that phase, project initialization will be there and requirement gathering will be there. Another phase will be the planning. In planning, estimation, scheduling and tracking will be there. After it, modeling phase will be there. In modeling phase, analyzing and designing of the software will be done. Designing means the flow, DFD diagram, entity relationship diagram, class diagram, all the diagrams and all the designing of the project will be done into the modeling phase. After modeling, construction phase will be there. In construction, coding, or we can say main programming will be done into construction phase. After programming, testing will be done onto our coded softwares, or we can say our code. Unit testing can be done on some units that we have already developed. So this is the construction phase. After it, next phase will be the deployment. In deployment phase, product delivery, feedback of the customer and support will be there. After delivering the product to the customer will give its feedback for the product, and if any issue, any bug are there, then company, or we can say programmer, or we can say company person will give support for the product. If any support will need, then again we will have to follow our first phase, that was the communication. On the changes we will have to plan again. After planning, we will have to model that changes, we will have to code that changes, and again we will have to we will have to deploy that product to the customer. So this is a continuous process. So these are the SDLC, software development life cycle. We will follow software process models that will use this type of SDLC phases. Okay, so let's start with the software process models. But before starting the software process model, our question is that why we need software process model. Okay, so the software development team must decide the process model that is to be used for software product development, and then the entire team must adhere to it. This is necessary because the software product development can be done systematically. Each team member will understand what is the next activity and how to do it. Thus, the process model will bring the definiteness and discipline in overall development process. Each process model consists of definite entry and exit criteria for each phase, means our SDLC phases. Hence, the transaction of the product through various phases is definite. If the process model is not followed for software development, then any team member can perform any software development activity. This will ultimately cause a chaos and software project will definitely fail. Without using process model, it is difficult to monitor the progress of software product. Then, this is the reason why we need software process model. Okay, so let's start with our first software process model, that is the linear sequential model, or we can say waterfall model. This is the very basic model that uses the SDLC phases. So as per the SDLC phases, first phase of the waterfall model will be the communication, that we already know what will be the task for communication phase. Another step will be the planning. Third phase will be the modeling. Fourth phase will be the construction, and last phase will be the deployment. So this is the linear sequential model. Here you can see, after completing communication, we are proceeding further for the planning. After completing planning phase, we are proceeding further for the modeling. After completing modeling, we are proceed for the construction. After completing construction, we are proceed for the deployment. So one thing you will have to keep in mind, that we can go further into next phase even if our previous phase is completed. That is the limitation of the linear sequential model, or we can say waterfall model. Here this model is called as the classic life cycle, that we have already discussed, that the SDLC phases. So here you can say this waterfall model uses same phases which we have already used. So this is the classic life cycle or waterfall model. The linear sequential model suggests a systematic sequential approach to software development. Once a phase is complete, you can not go back and repeat the process of previous phase. So that is the main important thing of waterfall model. Then once you complete a phase, then you cannot go back and repeat the process of the previous phase. Means you have completed your communication phase, you have completed your planning phase, you are into the modeling phase, then you cannot go back into the planning phase. That is the limitation of your waterfall model. Now let's see when we can use this waterfall model. Then when our requirements are very well known, clear and fixed, our product definition is stable, technology is understood, there is no ambiguous requirement. Let's understand all one by one. Requirements are very well known, clear and fixed, means there cannot be any changes into further stages. Product definition is stable. Technology is understood. Technology means in which technology you are going to develop your project. That technology is understood to the programmers or practitioners. There are no ambiguous requirement, means all requirement must be very clear. Ample, or we can say sufficient resources with the required expertise are available freely. The project is short. That is the very important thing for the waterfall model, that is your project must be short. Then and then you can apply your waterfall model. Now let's check advantages of waterfall model. So simple to implement and manage. Drawbacks, so unable to accommodate changes at the later stages, that is required in most of the cases. Means if you have completed your first phase, communication, you are into your planning phase, and then customers gives you some changes, then that will not accommodate. Okay, so that is the drawback of your waterfall model. Next thing is working version is not available during development, which can lead the development with the major mistakes. Means if you complete your communication, then you complete your planning, then you complete your modeling, till then you will have not any working version. Okay, next thing is deadlock can occur due to delay in any step. You can perform any stage at a time. So if you are into your modeling stage and you have some difficulty in your modeling phase, so you cannot proceed further for the construction phase, so that will be a deadlock. Okay, so that is also a drawback. Not suitable for large projects. So we have already discussed that you can apply waterfall model only for the short projects, so not suitable for the large project. Okay, so that's it for today's lecture. If you like this video, then like, comment and subscribe. Also share it with your friends. Thank you.